Social media was hyped, travel agents were hyped, and even I was starting to feel the hype, which is usually a bad sign. The MSC World America looks like a dream online, but their ships have a reputation for being stunning on the surface and a total circus underneath. This could have been the best cruise of the year or a disaster I'd regret by day 2. So I did what any responsible adult would do. I dragged my entire family on board to find out. Hey y'all, I'm Evan with Family at Sea, where we help make every cruise unforgettable. This is the MSC World America. It's huge, it's flashy, and it's packed with bold claims about reinventing the cruise experience. But here's what actually happened and why this ship caught me completely off guard. If you're ready, I am. Let's go. The MSC World America is the second ship in MSC's World Class series, and at over 215,000 gross tons, it's one of the largest cruise ships in the world. It carries just under 6,800 guests at full capacity, supported by more than 2,100 crew. While it shares the same basic platform as its sister ship, the World Europa, over 40% of the design was completely reimagined, which is basically unheard of for the second ship in the class. This wasn't just a copy-paste job. MSC clearly listened to feedback and made bold changes aimed at North American cruisers. You'll find 7 distinct districts on board, from the family-focused Family Aventura zone to the multi-level World Galleria, which is a stunning indoor promenade with shops, bars, and entertainment beneath a massive LED dome. There are 20 bars, 13 restaurants, a full-scale water park, 6 pools, and even a high-adrenaline amusement area that includes bumper cars and roller skating. It's massive, it's ambitious, and MSC is betting big that this is the ship that finally puts them in the same conversation as the biggest names in mainstream cruising. Despite how massive and flashy the MSC World America is, the pricing is still one of the biggest selling points. For a 7-day sailing with 2 people, you can typically expect to pay anywhere from $1,600 to $4,000 for an interior cabin. Ocean views range from $2,200 to $4,500. Balconies can run anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000, depending on location and sailing date. If you're eyeing an Aria experience, which comes with spa perks and upgraded suites, you can expect to pay $4,000 to $8,000. And if you're thinking about the Yacht Club, which is MSC's ship within a ship suite concept, you're looking at around $7,000 to $12,000. So while it's a jump from MSC's earlier ships, it's still affordable compared to the competition. But with pricing all over the place and promos changing constantly, it's honestly hard to know if you're getting a good deal or just biting on the bait, and that's why we always book our cruises through Cruises It. They not only save us money, but they also unlock some perks and upgrades we wouldn't get on our own. With our low price guarantee, you can rest easy knowing you're not leaving money on the table, or peace of mind either. If you're planning to cruise on the World America, or honestly any ship, click the link in the description below or give them a call and let them know Evan from Family at Sea sent you. You'll be glad you did. We had high expectations going in, which we're usually very careful not to do, but with so much hype about this ship, it was hard not to. But even with those high expectations, there were things on the ship that genuinely impressed us, and not just a few. A lot. The variety of dining options is one of MSC World America's biggest strengths. From multi-course dinners to quick grab-and-go snacks, there was always something new to try. With more than a dozen restaurants on board, we never felt stuck rotating through the same venues. Even the casual spots felt elevated, whether it was a legit pizza counter, burgers, or soft serve that somehow always hit just right. And if you're in the mood for something truly special, the Wagyu strip loin at Butcher's Cut is a must-try for any steak lover. The World Galleria, located midship on decks 6 through 8, is the indoor heart of the ship, and it works. Wrapped in shops, bars, and restaurants, and capped with a massive LED dome, it's more than a pretty space. It actually felt like a vibrant central hub with its own energy. And hidden in plain sight right in the middle of the World Galleria is something most people miss entirely: a secret speakeasy tucked behind a vintage phone booth. Seriously, you won't find it on the map, and you can't just walk in because access requires plus a special coin that you'll need to earn from select crew members if you want to score an invitation. Once inside, it's an entirely different vibe. Moody lighting, live jazz, expertly crafted cocktails, and kind of immersive hush-hush experience that makes you feel like you're in on something exclusive. It's easily one of the coolest surprises on board and definitely worth seeking out. Just past the World Galleria at the aft of Deck 8 is the World Promenade, which is an open-air, ocean-facing promenade with lounge seating, alfresco dining, and live entertainment. It blends upscale design with a relaxed, breezy atmosphere that makes it easy to lose track of time. Entertainment was another surprise. MSC hasn't always had the strongest reputation in this department, but that's clearly changing. The shows on board finally felt intentional. They were better produced, better paced, and worth making time for. While they're not trying to compete with Broadway, they don't feel like filler anymore either. The Panorama Lounge took things even further. During the day, it's a scenic, low-key spot with aft-facing views, but at night, it transforms into a high-tech performance space with massive LED walls, interactive lighting, and some of the most creative shows we've seen at sea. Queen Symphonic, which is a live rock performance with string musicians, immersive visuals, and dramatic staging, is one of the best cruise ship shows we have ever seen. It didn't just exceed expectations, it completely reframed what a show and a lounge can be. And since we are the family at sea, we've got to talk about Family Aventura, which is MSC's dedicated zone for kids, tweens, and anyone still clinging to their inner child like I am. At the heart of it is the harbor, which is a massive open-air playground that feels more like a floating adventure park than a cruise ship deck. The water slides here aren't just fast, they're intense. One of the water slides even layers in virtual reality to crank up the adrenaline even farther. For younger kids, there's a splash zone with interactive elements to keep them entertained without drenching everyone in sight. And let's not forget Jaw Drop, the dry slide. This is a steep, twisting descent that shoots you from the harbor down to the World Promenade on Deck 8. It's less playground and more controlled freefall. And surrounding it all is a sprawling ropes course that weaves around the harbor deck, plus the cliffhanger swings, which quite literally launch you over the side of the ship in the safest way possible, of course. It's one of the most ambitious family areas we have ever seen at sea, and if we had let them, our kids probably would have spent the entire week there. But the fun doesn't end there. The pool setup on board was another highlight. The Margaritaville pool midship on Deck 18 is the largest pool ever built on a cruise ship, and it feels every bit as massive as it sounds. It has a huge footprint, bold design, and non-stop energy from morning to night. And just steps away is the Botanic Garden pool, which offers a completely different vibe. It's enclosed under a retractable glass canopy with multiple hot tubs, day beds, and a more relaxed climate-controlled atmosphere. And if you're looking for a true escape, the Zen pools at the aft of Deck 18 deliver a peaceful, adults-only retreat with panoramic ocean views and a far quieter vibe. The Top 20 Solarium also stood out with oversized hot tubs, a huge full-service bar covered by shade, and more elevated, adult-oriented vibe that felt like a genuine escape from the busier decks below. And of course, the Yacht Club still delivered in the ways that matter most. While some longtime fans might feel the new design trades a bit of intimacy for scale, the Topsail Lounge, Yacht Club Restaurant, and private pool deck remain standout spaces that offer true peace and personalized service above the rest of the ship. While it may not be perfect, it still provides the retreat that Yacht Club loyalists are after. So yeah, there was a lot to love here, but that doesn't mean everything was perfect. For all the wow factor that MSC World America delivers, there were still moments that pulled us out of the experience. The layout, especially in the World Galleria on Decks 7 and 8, has some real head scratchers. You'll run into dead ends or get rerouted through service-style corridors that feel more like backstage access than guest-facing design. It disrupts the immersion, and on a ship this new, that's surprising. Crowd flow broke down in a few key areas, especially in the World Theater. After each show, guests trying to exit had to squeeze past the incoming crowd for the next performance, and with no one managing the flow, it quickly turned into a frustrating bottleneck that felt totally avoidable with better scheduling and layout. And noise levels were another recurring snag. From the bass-heavy soundtrack at the Margaritaville pool to live performances echoing through the Galleria, MSC often treated volume as decor. It made some otherwise well-designed spaces feel overwhelming. At times, even holding a normal conversation felt like a struggle. The ship leans hard in energy and excitement, which is great, but there was very little balance when it came to offering quieter escapes outside of those premium areas. Dining was another mixed bag. We had some fantastic meals on board with some of the best food we've ever had at sea, but the inconsistency was hard to ignore. One night you'd get hot, flavorful dishes and warm, attentive service. The next, lukewarm entrees arrived out of sync with service that felt rushed or distracted. It's not that the food is bad overall, because it wasn't. It just didn't always live up to the level MSC seems to be aiming for. We also ran into some frustrating gaps in communication. Showtimes weren't posted until late the night before, certain venues were closed with no explanation, and scheduled activities would sometimes disappear entirely without notice or replacement. For a ship that wants to be part of the top-tier conversation, these little breakdowns made it feel like the left hand didn't always know what the right hand was doing. Now, none of these things ruined the cruise, but they chipped away at the polish. The attention to detail that made some parts of the ship feel world-class weren't always present, and when that gap shows, it shows in a big way. But despite all of that, something unexpected happened, and it completely changed the way we saw the ship and MSC as a whole. We boarded the ship expecting more of the same. Big promises, flashy design, and an experience that looked great in photos, but fell apart once we actually lived in it for a week. And at first, that assumption held up. There were definitely moments where we thought, yep, here we go again. But then, something started to shift. Even with the flaws, there was a different energy on this ship. The design felt more thoughtful. The spaces flowed better when they weren't sending you through a service corridor at least. And the entertainment actually had depth. The family areas weren't just functional, they were showstoppers. And the food, while hit or miss at times, had some real high points that felt like MSC wasn't just trying to keep up anymore, they were trying to lead. It's not that the cruise was perfect, it's that we didn't feel like we were making excuses for it. We weren't saying, well, it's a great value, or you get what you pay for. We were saying this is actually a great ship. And that's the shift. The MSC World America didn't just win us over with size or pricing. It earned our respect by showing us what MSC can be when they stop chasing trends and start building something that stands on its own. This wasn't just better than their older ships, it was better than a lot of the competition. And if this is the direction MSC is heading, well, they might not just be catching up, they might actually be pulling ahead. The MSC World America is a ship built for motion. It's big, bold, and unapologetically energetic. And if you're the kind of cruiser who wants variety, activity, and non-stop entertainment, you're gonna feel right at home here. It's an especially great fit for active families like ours, with Family Aventura and the harbor offering everything from water slides and splash zones to dry slides, rope courses, and the cliffhanger swings that literally launch you over the edge of the ship. There's always something pulling kids and adults into adventure mode. We saw entire families that could have spent their whole cruise just bouncing between these two spaces. It also works incredibly well for multi-generational groups. There are laid-back coffee bars and gelato counters for grandparents, immersive shows and high-tech lounges for teens and adults, and casual dining venues scattered throughout the ship so no one has to compromise. It's easy to split up, do your own thing, and reconnect later without feeling like you're stuck on anyone else's schedule. And for my fellow American cruisers, you'll notice this ship doesn't just look different than previous MSC ships, it feels different too. But what really stood out was the pace. Things moved faster, meals didn't take forever, service didn't feel like it was stuck in cruise ship molasses. It finally felt like MSC got the memo on how Americans like to travel and actually did something about it. And if you're someone who loves immersive design and dynamic entertainment, this ship delivers. Between the LED dome and the World Galleria, the open-air World Promenade, the high-tech panorama lounge, and standout shows like Queen Symphonic, it feels like there's always a spectacle waiting around the next corner. That said, this ship isn't for everyone. If you're looking for a peaceful, quiet cruise with slow mornings, calm afternoons, and classical music playing softly in the background, this probably isn't it. Outside the yacht club and a handful of tucked-away lounges, most spaces on this ship lean loud, high energy, and always on. If you're someone who values perfect consistency, whether in dining, service, or scheduling, you may get frustrated at times. The ship is ambitious, but not everything runs like clockwork. Some nights felt smooth and elevated, but other times it felt like the crew was reading from a completely different script than the one the guests got. And if you're a loyalist to old school European cruising style where things are slower, quieter, and more traditional, this ship might feel like too much. But for everyone else, this is MSC leaning in, leveling up, and trying to deliver a cruise experience that isn't just big, it's built for how people actually vacation today. And what caught us off guard the most? MSC actually pulled it off. So after all the chaos and confetti, would we actually sail the MSC World America again? Yes, absolutely. In fact, we're already booked again. Not because everything was flawless, because some parts clearly need fine-tuning, but when this ship delivered, it didn't just meet expectations, it blew past them. The energy, the variety, the bold ideas, even the crowd control in most areas. It finally feels like MSC took the time to understand what American cruisers want and tried to build something that actually delivers. And that surprised us. From the reimagined layout to the family-friendly thrills to a pace that finally matches US travel styles, this isn't just progress for MSC, this is a genuine turning point. Now, no, it is not for everyone, but no cruise ever is. But if you're craving something flashy, fun, and just a little unpredictable, this might be the wildcard cruise you didn't see coming. And if you want to see what it's actually like to spend a week on board this new megaship, we filmed the entire thing, every twist, every surprise, and every oh no they didn't moment. And we shared it all on our second channel, Family at Sea Adventures. So I'll see you over there because you're not going to want to miss this. If you're ready, I am. Let's go.